Indian Companies Act 2013 is the principal law governing the incorporation, regulation, management and dissolution of companies in India, enacted by Parliament and receiving presidential assent on 29 August 2013. It replaced the Companies Act 1956 to modernize corporate regulation. The act came into force in phases between September 2013 and April 2014. It applies uniformly across India and establishes a comprehensive legal framework to enhance corporate governance, transparency, accountability, and investor protection in both listed and unlisted companies. Indian Companies Act. The Indian Companies Act 2013 represents a landmark shift in India's corporate legal framework by replacing outdated provision with modern governance standards. It balances regulatory control with business flexibility. The Act strengthens shareholder rights, enhances accountability of management, and aligns Indian corporate law with global best practices, making it a foundational pillar of India's economic and institutional architecture. Indian Companies Act objectives. The Indian Companies Act aims to create a transparent, accountable, and efficient corporate ecosystem aligned with modern economics requirements, consolidate and amend company law, improve corporate governance standards, protect shareholders and stakeholders, strengthen regulatory oversight, promote ease of doing businesses. Indian Companies Act provisions. The Indian Companies Act lays down detailed provision covering the entire life cycle of companies in India, incorporation and types of companies, regulates registration and formation of companies, recognizes private, public and one-person companies, introduces Section B non-profit companies, provides for producer companies for agricultural activities, allows maximum 200 members in private companies, management and administration, defines roles, duties and liabilities of directors, mandate at least one resident director with 182 days stay in India, requires board meetings with minimum 7 days notice, empowers shareholders through approval-based decision making, introduces electronic governance for filings and records, key managerial personnel, recognizes company secretary as KMP under Section 203, mandatory appointment for listed companies, applies to companies with paid-up capital above ₹10 crore, enhances compliance and governance oversight, ensures professional accountability, corporate governance framework, mandates independent directors in listed companies, requires one women director for prescribed classes of companies, limits independent director tenure to 2 consecutive terms, define statutory duties of directors, introduces class action suits for shareholders, corporate social responsibility. Section 135 introduces mandatory CSR spending, applies to companies crossing net worth, turnover or profit threshold, requires minimum 2% of average net profit spent on CSR, mandates formation of a CSR committee, makes India the first country with mandatory CSR law, audit and financial reporting, provides for rotation of auditors and audit firms, prohibits auditors from providing non-audit services, establishes National Financial Reporting Authority, enhances independence and accountability of auditors, strengthens discourse norms in financial statements, adjudication and dispute resolution, establishes National Company Law Tribunal, creates National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, transfer company law disputes from civil courts, provides specialized and time-bound adjudication, simplifies insolvency and binding up processes. Indian Companies Act feature. The Indian Companies Act introduces structural reforms to modernize Indian corporate law, consists of 29 chapters, 470 sections and 7 schedules, replaces 655 sections of the Companies Act 1956, introduces one-person company for single entrepreneurs, increases private company member limit from 50 to 200, provides its statutory backing to corporate governance principles, enables electronic maintenance of accounts and records, introduces fast-track mergers for small and group companies, allows cross-border mergers with regulatory approval, strengthens director accountability through defined duties, makes rehabilitation and liquidation processes time-bound. Indian Companies Act amendments. The Indian Companies Act has been amended to improve compliance and promote business efficiency. It has been amended in 2017, 19, 20, reduce penalties for procedural and technical default, relaxed CSR compliance requirements in specific cases, shortened timelines for rights issues, created additional benches for NCLAT, allowed non-resident Indian to form one-person companies, enhanced transparency in auditor resignation, strengthened independence of statutory auditors, proposed allowance of fractional and discounted shares aimed at improving ease of doing businesses and investor confidence.